You got the motherfucking right to remain violent. PowerPoint's hiding in my clip. I'll be 25 just to watch your life end. I pray, Father, please forgive me for my sin. Got to stick to dynamite, dying to life now.
You're listening to the voice of IWA Flip here on Interfed Radio. Welcome to Living Nightmare After Hours. With me in studio, Commissioner Brandon Madden. Commissioner, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, Flip?
Oh man, dude, happy New Year to you, brother. Oh man, I just had to stay. Like I said, when you told me you wanted a little bit of an intro, and I was like, that sounds perfect one to start this New Year off here in the Living Nightmare League, brother. Because yeah, everyone does have the right to remain violent here, and I think we got a lot coming this year that's going to keep everyone on the edge.
Oh yeah, definitely. We got violence is coming.
Oh yeah, with the title of that first pay-per-view, brother, and I am glad that the IWA censors didn't completely block you out, because damn, yeah, DMFD, brother, die motherfucker die, coming soon.
Yes, actually, it's not the cycle coming up in the next couple days, but the following cycle 65.
Now, if the pay-per-view wasn't enough to keep the fans here, Brandon, dude, we had a lot going on this cycle, which we'll eventually get to. But shout out to LXE and their sinister one, because but again, we'll get more into that in a little bit. But now, was that Commissioner Pratt I heard in the background? No, that's not Commissioner Pratt. He's been man, poor Commissioner Pratt, man. My goodness, I can only imagine.
Commissioner Pratt, he's only got another cycle and a half to wait, and he'll be out of his misery then.
Oh man, poor
Remember,
guy.
we're killing him at the pay-per-view.
Oh, this is, you know what? This is unfair to the commissioner. It should be Now, is Otis going to eat him live in front of the audience, or?
I don't know. Otis is currently building the structure that Balin wants to use to kill him. So I don't know. I don't know if Otis is going to eat him during it, or stealing the body afterwards.
And from what I got, Otis wasn't too happy about building that. He wasn't too happy.
Yeah, no, I think Otis kind of shit his pants when Balin showed up. I don't think he expected him to show up at his house.
Oh man, but well, here we go, man. We got Living Nightmare number 63, and I guess as we do, as everyone else does, we got to give these champions their respect, and got some new faces on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go.
A nice mix on the title page this time.
I like it. Yeah, no, it definitely shook things up, and I was like, oh, nicely done here. Here we go. December 2019. Our Nightmare champion was Warblaze. Glad to see him on top. Paranormal champion, Patient X. Amityville champion, Barnabas Slade. Crystal Lake champion, the Crimson Curse herself, Sadako Saiki.
Who is a member of the Order now? I didn't realize that. Has she always been a member of the Order?
You know what? There's, that can't be good. That can't be good. If she's teaming up with the Order in them, it's some tough times coming here in the Living Nightmare League. Our Elm Street champion, Ted Radford. Our Black Lagoon champion, Bigfoot.
The bravest man in the league.
We'll get into that. And what made him the bravest Bigfoot of the foots. Camp Arwag champion. Glad to see him back in effect. Jason Voorhees, 13. And a nice little Easter egg. Got his 13th star. So.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Cool. Yeah. Transylvania champion, Patient Y. Our Haunted Hill champion, from the Battle Royal, my favorite of the Skeksis, Skexel, Sleepy Hollow champion. Also from the Battle Royal, probably the one I like the least, Skexco. Salem's lot champion, Pravis, and our Crypt champion, Squeaky. Nicely done.
I tell you what, despite my best efforts each cycle, they refuse to put POE in front of Pravis's name. Throw that out there, a random thought. I've only done it the last 5 cycles, tried to get it added, and for some reason,
Yeah, if that, you know what? I'm not even going to begin to get into IWA talk, bro. That'll take us a whole nother hour. We will leave IWA talk or that kind of talk out of it, brother.
Yeah, suddenly your characters will start disappearing again.
Hey now. Oh yeah, nicely done there, Brandon. Focus, Phil. Focus. Apocalypse tag team champions, Warblades and Aiden Brimstone. Our Doomsday TV champion. They're back. The Sith Lords, Huntress Vestara and Queen Maladi.
Nice.
Slaughterhouse 6-man champions. We got Provis, Warblades, and Aiden Brimstone. Our Nightmare TV champions. We got Rawhead Rex, Jacob Goodnight, and Wolfman Joe. Congratulations to all our front page champions. Now, mentioned them early on, and again, Living Nightmare. I gotta say this, Commissioner, because it has been, and I think now is escalating to one of the premier angle-based trash talk leagues in the game. If you feel like arguing or feel like debating it, come on the show. Let me know what you got. Let me know what you guys got working. Because when I saw that LXE trash talk, I was like, forgive the language, Commissioner, but I'm like, holy moly, talk about, shit just working itself out. And I was like, this is why we play this game. This is, the way to do it. So shout out to their managers. But what were your thoughts when you saw, and I guess I mean, we've been talking about it, when is he going to do it? When is he going to, claim the head in the box? And he waited until it vacated. I was like, holy shoot, he did it.
Yeah, I don't think he could have. Right, I don't think he could have found a better way to do that. That was awesome. Not sure if Balin will be happy about it, but I mean, I loved it, man. I thought it was great. Because it was. He's had it for so long, and it was kind of just like, okay, so how do you, at that point when it's been built up like that, it's kind of hard to think of a way to cash it in, that's not going to disappoint. And he definitely found a way. I mean, I thought that was awesome. Awesome trash talk. I love the fact that he kind of just slid the head in where the belt was,
I mean, I feel bad for our janitorial staff who had to, come in the morning and just, pick up the broken glass, and then you look up and you see, pretty much the best way I can picture the way the head in there looks is like, a pumpkin after, weeks after Halloween. It's just all just shriveled, just
all mush. Maybe a little eyeball hanging down.
Yeah, not a pretty sight, brother. But A+ trash talk. Let's say it like it is. Now, I think what makes the trash talk, what solidifies it is the fact that you're gonna what is it, validate it by giving him the belt.
So here's my plan. I'm gonna obviously, I kind of set that little, scenario up because we didn't have an Underworld champion after the original Sith Lords left, and I did, the 3 Battle Royal winners from the 3 cycles and the 3 league champs. They're still going to fight it out for that Underworld title. But at the same time, Bagul does have his Underworld title, and then we'll go from there to see how we decide to play this, whether we have 2 Underworld titles, maybe we change the name, maybe we have 1 Underworld title, 1 different title. And then we'll figure out where we go from there. That's going to be the fun part, is figuring out where to go from there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it leads us, it gives us more to work with. It definitely throws a nice curveball, and yeah, shout out to their manager for, making us think a little bit. But
absolutely. That's what we want.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had mentioned maybe even like a unification, match.
Yeah,
but
maybe
again,
down the road. Yeah,
I like
but
it. Yeah, no.
I want to give him time also to play out what he has planned. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's part of this game. That's part of the fun that we can have in this game when when trash talk allows.
Right.
Now, obviously we could. I mean, we already did, but we could keep going with the trash talk. But can we jump a little back into like kind of commissioner stuff? What
Yeah,
champions?
absolutely.
What champions do we have currently? If we're talking champions.
Well, I guess like we talked about, the main title currently is kind of vacated, also kind of taken by Sinister Bagul. But as far as our other champions go, we have Jason and Michael continuing their reign of dominance as the Terror Tag Team Champions.
Now,
Yes.
wait a minute, Commissioner, because these these Skeksis have come in, and for anyone, I mean, if you ask me, Jason and Michael are legendary,
Absolutely.
legendary monsters. The Skeksis had the nerve to call them B-rated 80s monsters. And I was like, are you freaking kidding? The nerve of you damn, what are they, crows or whatever the hell they, I'm like, are you B-rated 80s monsters? Like, come on. I don't know how the terror tags are challenged, but, Skeksis, if you really think you're up to the challenge, try them, because Jason and Michael have proven themselves to be far beyond legends. I mean, they're pretty much they're heroes here in the LNL.
Right. It's funny you mentioned that, because as I was going through this past week and just going over all the matches for the pay-per-view, that is the match I have set up for the tag team titles.
Nice.
2 members of Skeksis taking on Jason and Michael.
Yeah, make sure Skekso's in there, because that guy's a jerk. Oh man! But you were saying, Commissioner, we had a Colossal Champion.
Colossal Champion is Warblaze. He defeated Patient X for the title.
No way!
Yes.
You know what? The Patient has been very distracted as of late, so I guess, yeah. Lose focus, lose your title.
Right. As far as Patient X goes, too, make sure you use your 5 free matches this cycle, so you don't miss out on that. But
now, why did he get 5 free matches for losing?
No. So the Colossal Champion gets 5 free matches, right? So he gets his 5 free matches this cycle, because the last bulletin he was champion. So now this bulletin, Warblaze will be the champion. So next month, next cycle, he'll get the 5 free matches. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a month behind, right?
Oh yeah. I you know what? In IWA time, brother, you gotta. Right. But that's the good thing. I mean, this is the one that's that we're covering. So yeah.
Right.
Even though he lost the belt this cycle, you still get your yes. Okay.
Yes. So he was the reigning champion, Patient X. Actually, I think Warblaze is the only one that beat him, so he almost retained the title.
Oh. And Warblaze is our league champion.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a dang.
Yeah, he had a good cycle.
Just not good enough.
No. And then the Anarchy champion was the Sinister Bagul, and he was actually defeated by Michael Myers, one of those 80s guys. So Michael Myers is the Anarchy champion, as well as one half of the Terror Tag Champs. And
Nicely
we,
done.
and we mentioned before that while you can't hold two singles titles, you can hold a singles and a tag. So Michael Myers is a dual champion now.
Shout out to the DOD. Oh man. Now, so we have I mean, just in case you're new to the LNL or to the new LNL, Terror Vision is what do they call them? Our staple show?
Yep. Yeah, right now it's the only show for the time being. But yeah, that's our Saturday night TV show, and that's kind of where we determine our contenders. We
now is it
defend titles on there too.
Is it kind of? I mean, obviously, you have the ultimate say in it, Commissioner, but most of this stuff you derive from the angles, from the trash talk,
Right.
from people challenging for certain things.
Yes, absolutely. Like I say, I want the Terror Vision matches to mean something, just not just random names I'm picking out. I mean, sometimes I'll do that. Like if I want to throw a few people in there, like some new people, just to get them out there. But we've kind of built up the first like 3 shows. There's been a title match on each show, I think. And then on this 4th show that'll be coming, you'll see it in this next cycle. That's the one that's got the 2 big matches, and the 2 participants in the finals of the Underworld title tournament. So
nice.
Now, I always want at least like something, matches that have meaning to them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, definitely, getting a thumbs up for having the recap of the previous one and the current one. Obviously, last time we had a show, I think we went over but they are in this bulletin as well, just in case you don't listen to the show, you do get the recap in the bulletin as well. But let's see here. Do you have results for TerraVision 3 or?
I do. The first match was Squeaky and Bigfoot taking on Barnabas Slade and Claude Holiday. Squeaky and Bigfoot got the win.
Ooh, look at those guys. Now, just in case you missed it, Commissioner.
Yes.
A certain bat was found in the LNL. And I'll be honest with you, I think the Crimson Curse had a little something to do with it. So Bigfoot actually found Babs's Frankie.
Really?
Uh-huh. So, Bigfoot's success, I think, has a little to do with that cursed bat that we all well know from the RWO. So I'm interested to see what happens there.
Yeah, for any of you who don't know, Frankie is a barbed wire baseball bat that Babs Capone, who's a star in the RWO, would carry around and use as a weapon. And then it kind of ended up getting cursed. And now it's somehow found its way to the LNL.
I blamed the one and only Crimson Curse. I mean, if it wasn't for her meddling, and again, it's led to Bigfoot's success. The bats. And again, this is we'll find out more this upcoming cycle. But there's some funny business going on there with that bat because Bigfoot is for whatever reason listening to it. So. It led him and Squeaky to some titles. So
exactly.
Shout out to the new Live and Let Live stable there that they've. Oh man,
I like it. Next up was a 3-way match between Jacob Goodnight, the Collector, and Patient Z, and the Collector was victorious. A member of the Die Group.
Nice. DIE coming in strong. Heck, because I mean, Jacob Goodnight and Patient Z aren't any walkovers. So
Nope. Next up, we had some interleague action between the LNL and the RWL. From the LNL, it was Dr. Damian Hyde and the Crimson Curse, Sadako Seki, taking on, from the RWL, Hope, and we were talking about her a few minutes ago, Babs Capone. And much to the chagrin of Balin, the RWL was victorious. Hope and Babs Capone got the win.
yeah, I'm telling you, but I think the LNL came out on top because they got the bat. So,
Yeah.
oh, dang it. We'll see where that leads.
And then, so then we had a double main event for the show. So, as you know, we had the unclaimed Underworld title, and whoever the Underworld champion is, they get a shot at the Bronze Age champion when the Bronze Age comes through the LNL, which just happens to be this coming cycle. So, since we didn't have a champion, we went and did a gauntlet match. And the participants were Dr. Frankenstein, Aiden Brimstone, Sam, Otis Gruser, the Crimson Curse, Sadako Seki, Charles Manx the Worthy, Catfish Rob, Rawhead Rex, Bigfoot, and Michael Myers. And the winner of the gauntlets was the Crimson Curse, Sadako Seki.
Nice.
And we'll talk about this a little bit more in a few minutes, but yeah, she is she's got the shot at the Bronze Age Conqueror title.
Ooh, that can't be good.
And then the last match was for the Anarchy title. We talked about this a little bit earlier. The Sinister Bagul versus Michael Myers, and Michael Myers was victorious and is the new Anarchy champion.
Well deserved, man. Okay, he's wreaked havoc around here for quite some time. So.
Oh yeah. So as far as the Bronze Conqueror goes in the Crimson Curse, I'm a big fan of the way this worked out, because being that, of the three leagues of the Bronze Age, and, we're in all three of them, the RWL was the first, that was kind of what got started. So it's kind of cool that we get the RWL, Susie Moon, who was a dominant star over in the RWL. Their main title is the Revolt X title, and she held it 6 months in a row, then lost it and won it back again. And then she's also the first ever Bronze Conqueror. Excuse me. With that being said, though, the Crimson Curse was also in the RWL. And while she was in the RWL, she actually won the IWA Women's World title. So the fact that, it's just nice. It's going to be, it should be a great match. Well, I love Susie Moon. Balin wants to bring, he wants the Crimson Curse to bring the title back home to the LNL.
And again, that's one tough woman right there. Like I said, for everything that she's done in the short time that she's been around, the way she's tossed this league into a frenzy, I love it.
And she did go. She went to the UNL first to defend the first title defense of the Bronze Conqueror. And
who's this? Susie Moon?
Yes. So she's already been there, and
shout out to who is it? TVB.
Yep, TVB. Yep, who is definitely no slouch. Tremendous star of the UNL right there. So yeah, and then whoever wins this between Susie Moon and the Crimson Curse, they will go on to the next cycle. They'll go to the RWL. I don't know if it's actually the next cycle. There might be a month in between where there's no defense. I'm not positive on that. I can go in the basement and ask Commissioner Pratt, but
oh, poor Commissioner. Now, yeah, I think that's what when I had the RWL show with Sean, I think that's what he had mentioned. It's every other cycle,
Right.
it gets defended, and again, it cycles through the leagues. So, oh man, now, uh, assuming it comes in two cycle or next cycle, no,
It is next. It is this coming cycle. Because this would be Bronze Age 7, I believe. So it's this
okay,
coming cycle. Yep.
nice.
So
So good luck to the Crimson Curse on defending that one. Now, and then the cycle after that, we get our pay per view, or is it in two cycles?
yes. Nope. The cycle after that. So cycle 64, which is the one is coming up. That one will be where the Crimson Curse fights for the Bronze Conqueror. The one after that, cycle 65, is Die Motherfucker Die.
Nice. Now we
Live
got a
and
few,
only on pay-per-view.
we got a few matches already signed and sealed, and if you're not on the pay per view, reach out to the commissioner, get something worked out. And again, we say this often enough. I mean, we do these shows, pretty much for our friends, for the people that are in the league. If you are in the league, if you're not on the Facebook, make sure you join the LNL Facebook. Help interact with some of the other managers to coordinate some of these angles, to coordinate some of these pay-per-views. It brings the show to life, and it just helps. It helps keep the things moving in the right direction, I guess you can say.
Yep. And I like I said, I got the card pretty much done. It will finally be in this cycle, and I got it there right around 900. But I have a way to get pretty much the card, everybody that's active on the card. You know what I mean? So, and when I say that, I don't mean like somebody that might be not active 1 month. I mean, like, obviously, we got some names that have been down there that haven't wrestled in 6 months or whatever. Where, like, you're not going to get left out. I want to try and include everybody as much as I can.
Yeah, and of course, like you said, you definitely want to push the people that are pushing themselves, but time, if you are in the league and for whatever reason been in and out, just reach out, try and work something out for you. Now, you want to go over the matches that we have signed already for it, or?
Yeah. I'll go over. I got some written down here, and then we'll go over. I'll put the rest of them in the actual bulletin. But okay. So one thing I can say, like I said, with the determining who was going to be in the match for the new Underworld title, it ended up being the 3 league champions and they're going to fight it out at TerraVision 4 this cycle. Dr. Frankenstein, Charles Manx the Worthy, and Warblaze. The winner of that goes on to the pay-per-view, and they will fight the winner of the Battle Royals. There was only 2 because one of the Sith Lords that met their untimely demise, they won the first Battle Royal. So that basically cuts it down to 2 people. So Sam is taking on Skexel, and the winner of
that's a great one.
Yeah. So the winner of that will move on to fight the winner of the 3-way at the pay-per-view.
Nice, I like it.
But then other matches on the show, like I mentioned, the Terror Tag title match with Jason and Michael taking on 2 members of Skexus. We also have Morbius taking on Wolfman Joe. Was it a strap match or a chain match?
Straps, chain. I mean, anything that'll prevent
Morbius from running.
Well, I mean, either way, I mean, I just want to keep Joe alive. The goal is to keep him alive. Remember that. That's
Morbius is a good guy.
A good guy.
He's a good vampire.
Yeah. He needs to feed on Joe. I mean, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
Nope,
just
I didn't hear nothing.
Just has to keep him alive.
Right. The Swamp Monster is taking on Barnabas Slade.
Now we just recently found out, I guess, that there's a little more than there's a little bit of a connection between these two.
Right. Barnabas Slade was in the LSL and was murdered and thrown into a swamp, and his body kind of floated uh, to where the LNL just happens to be, and the swamp monster kind of found his body and ended up saving Barnabas Slade. So we just kind of found this out, when we kind of got the origin from the swamp monster. So they were set to square off at the pay-per-view. Then this kind of came to light, and they were gonna kind of not go through with the match. But now Balin has said this, and this match is happening. So
That son of a.
yep.
Oh,
But we'll see what happens at the match. But then afterwards, who knows? Maybe Slade and the Swamp Monster will have an alliance.
huh. I like that.
See where it goes.
Slade and the Swamp Monster. That has a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of another great alliance, Jonathan Five and RoboCat. Let me tell you.
Johnny Five and RoboCat. Yes, absolutely.
Ah,
RoboCat's getting some upgrades.
you know what? He went from a little pussy to a big pussy, and yeah, definitely got some nice upgrades. He's a nice, shiny looking little pussy now. Let me tell you.
Yes, and I can say that they will be on the pay-per-view.
And they're going up against Chrome Skull and Jigsaw.
Yes.
Nice.
And then Warblaze is taking on Foxwoman Santana. One would have to question the sanity of Warblaze, though, because I don't know anybody who willingly goes after the Foxwoman.
Yeah, that's not. Oh man, yeah, you definitely gotta. I mean, and again, you don't know. You could catch her on an overcast night where the moon doesn't shine, and maybe you just end up getting an advantage on her. But if that moon is up,
look out!
Let me tell you, watch out for your nuts. Now, I mean, Commissioner, I mean, let's break a couple of walls, and I mean, we're thankful to have social media, which lets us communicate nowadays, because I could only imagine how some of these, I don't want to call them original players, but some of these older players that played this game back when it was just by mail, not knowing, whether, how to coordinate, obviously, the dungeon came about and people started talking in the dungeon, but, today's talk is, unrivaled. I mean, we got access to managers. We have, obviously, we've made some great friendships over the years, and, so we get to see a lot more from the managers nowadays than we ever have. I can imagine. I mean, because I hear the talks of yesteryears and how, the game was different and this and that. And I'm like I said, I like hearing the history and how much the game, and it's just I guess a testament to how much the game has grown and how far the game has come, because we had that situation with the Sith Lords manager, and hey, what, things happen. Life comes first. And he, obviously, we that thankfully to creative minds like yourself and other managers, gave them a way out, without diminishing their success here in the LNL, because they went from the luchadores, into this Sith Lord phase, and then things happened, and I was like, how are we going to get out of this? And then you're just, like I said, thanks to the creative minds behind the LNL, we kind of worked it out, and then we get a revision, or not a revision, but thankfully things worked out, and we get a new batch of Sith Lords,
Yeah,
and these
female Sith Lords.
yes. Now, obviously, these are different characters, so I'm not gonna. Obviously, the manager has had his success with those other characters. That's awesome. But this is a new batch of characters, so I'm curious to learn and kind of see where these new Sith Lords or female. I guess they're still Sith Lords, right? Because a Sith Lord is just a Sith Lord. Lordess? That's not even a word, is it?
I think that, I
Lordesses?
was wondering. I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I can tell you that there is in Ballin's little commissioner spiel that he does in every report. This past one, he did talk at the end. He mentioned about wanting one of his servants to go get Sam, or it might even have been Trickster, but to go get Sam. He needed to talk to him, and I think Ballin is nervous now because we don't know for sure that the original Sith Lords died, right? We know
No.
their ship. We know their ship blew up. We knew that the die group symbol was spray painted on there, but we don't know if they actually died or not. Did they get an escape pod? You never know.
Right,
But
right,
I
right.
think I think Ballin's a little on edge because of the fact that now we have these new Sith Lords are here, and are they here like investigating what happened? And he knows how powerful the Sith are, so I think Ballin may be a little nervous.
Yeah. Now, I mean, not to question Balance, but I'm more worried about Die
Yeah,
because I mean he looks like he has this like uh I mean for trust. There's some kind of a trust, or unwarranted trust that he has towards Die, or who knows? Maybe they're working with him, through this whole thing. Maybe he has them in their back pocket, paying them off. I don't know, but for a member of DIE to come out and request an autopsy match, I was like,
yeah,
oh, that's a big match already. I mean, what I don't even know why these Sith Lords are here. I don't know why DIE is really here. So to see everything kind of building up, I'm curious to see how this unfolds in this next couple of cycles. Will they even accept that kind of a match?
yeah. It'll be interesting to see what the female Sith have to say this coming cycle to see, just what their thoughts are. Maybe they'll give us an idea of why they're here. Maybe they're coming right after Die.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, I mean, since the original Sith are gone, I mean, obviously Dr. Frankenstein and the patients looks like the curse is kind of wrapping them up right now. So I'm curious as to because it was basically three factions running the show here. You had the Sith Lords, you had the patients and Dr. Frankenstein, and then you have the legendary Catfish Rob and his crew. So now that the Sith Lords have been kind of pushed off, you have the patient and the Crimson Curse kind of tangling up right now. So I'm curious as to how that Dr. Frankenstein's an evil son of a what. I mean, so anytime he starts mentioning your name, yeah, there's trouble there. But it doesn't seem like the Crimson Curse is worried. I mean,
Yeah,
she's gone through enough.
she doesn't come across to me as somebody that's scared of much. Um, Dr. Frankenstein, though, he seems like I just wonder if he's going to be able to hold the patients together. You know what I mean? He seems
Is he losing? Is he breaking? Are they breaking ranks? You think
I
it's
don't
finally
know,
gotten to that?
possible.
Hmm.
It's hard to say though. If anybody can keep him in line, it's him though.
Yeah, but you know what? After all these years, I think eventually, those patients want their own glory, man. I mean, even if you are just a minion. So I'm curious as to how that works or doesn't work. Or doesn't work.
Right.
Oh man. Now, on to my favorite new crew here, the Skeksis. Now, oh man. Now you got to understand one thing about Morbius. He likes the fact that you guys are don't die. That's not a public shaming. That's not trying to throw low blows at you guys. You know, 'cause, Wolfman Joe is he's a deadly son of a bitch. Trying to get some blood from Wolfman Joe is kind of tough. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. And I've seen the way these Skeksis move around. They don't move too fast. Let me tell you that, Commissioner. But it's a little easier getting blood from the Skeksis than it is from this fast-running Wolfman Joe character. So
Oof.
I am
I don't know if the Skeksis is gonna like hearing you say that.
What? No, I mean like in a good way. I mean, hey, they help help keep us alive. Keep us alive. Oh,
If you could say anything about the Skeksis, is they're quick about anything. It's about getting the new merch out.
hey, I'm all for it. You know what? I sent everybody some Pez dispensers, to make sure they support the Skeksis. So definitely support the Skeksis, help keep them alive because you know without them, we won't have any more vampires. It's just they move so slow, Commissioner. It's just it's kind of like that that poor little quail that just has no chance, no chance. Like,
Wow.
oh, oh, oh,
So they're slow and they have no chance.
what? I mean, they live forever. They have the essence of life. So they don't mind getting a couple, giving a couple pints here and there. uh, they will forever.
Oh, poor
They,
Morbius.
they what? No, no, not for Morbius. It's one of those. You remember back when you're in elementary and you're learning of like the circle of life, and it's just the way it is, Commissioner. Thank you,
Wow.
Skeksis. We love you, Skeksis forever. Skeksis. Ah, yeah, that's just the way it is, Commissioner. Live and let live. But give blood every now and then. Oh man. So yeah, shout out to the Skeksis. Glad to see you guys. Glad to see you guys here. And now, someone I'm not glad to see here are these two freaking cats that are Ignatius and Prosperine. I don't even know how to pronounce that other cat's name, but
Prosperine?
Prosperine.
Maybe.
Okay, yeah. Let's stay away from fucking Squeaky. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's 18 and older.
Oh man, you're lucky. Bigfoot doesn't swing that bat at you guys because he still doesn't know how to really swing. He hit himself on the head with it the other day, just trying to swing that damn thing. Clumsy ass Bigfoot man. But you better not go after Squeaky. Let me tell you. And if you do, watch out.
Tell you what, we got cats in my house, but nothing that looks like these things.
No. I hope somehow, some way, the Crimson Curse kind of reverts that spell and they become their old selves again because much more easier on the eyes, let me tell you.
Back then they were.
Yeah, these things are hideous. But I mean, hey. Now, someone that's not hideous is this new Egyptian princess or queen or
Yes, the Egyptian pharaoh, a female pharaoh. The demonic queen has arrived.
yeah, she's
Kayako Yamura.
Yeah, she's a looker, man. But
Yamamura.
I definitely didn't expect to see. I mean, when she walked in the first time, I was like, "Holy moly!" Are you in the wrong league? What are you doing here? Like, but then she's a damn demonic pharaoh. It's like you couldn't just be a nice pharaoh. Like no, had to be a demonic pharaoh. Like, jeez.
Did you
So
see? Did you see what she said? It's time to bring back the old Egyptian lashings to put some
yeah.
monsters back in their place.
Oh well, she looks like that. She can lash me on. No, bad, bad. But yeah, she's gonna be trouble. Let me tell you. Oh man, but she doesn't say any particular monsters, but there's always a good doctor to. I mean, what are you saying? No, oh man. Now, someone that we had mentioned briefly, and again, I want to see more of because he just looks like such a badass. Is this Brimstone guy? Who's Brimstone going after right now?
So it's funny you mentioned that Aiden Brimstone. If you look back to the last cycle, Provis had a vision, and the vision was Brimstone becoming more powerful, and I think just eventually killing Balin, right? So Balin kind of caught wind of this. So Balin has actually enlisted the services of Aiden Brimstone at the pay-per-view, and he's going to be taking on the sinister Bagul.
Nice, very nice. Oh yeah, no, that's a good match right there. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, just to see Brimstone, like I said, I mean, we haven't seen Sinister in a while, so not going to take anything away from him. I'm sure he's, like I said, he's a professional. I don't think the rust is kicked in. So
No, I don't think so. And then this gives Brimstone a chance to jump up into the upper echelon. If he can score a win over Bagul. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
oh yeah. Now, I think one of the things we had mentioned the last time is the fact that these, just like the patients, the Skeksis, they're not like cookie cutters. Like they all have different personalities. They all have different, you know, different motives. Uh-oh, Commissioner Pratt's scratching away.
Right.
Commissioner Pratt, keep it down back there.
This is one of those cats got in here.
Oh, Ignatius, but watch out, man! Don't let that thing scratch you.
Right.
But and again, I mentioned this when we were doing the champions. How the least of my favorite amongst them is Skexco.
Right.
I mean, and if the more and more you read, Skexco, and and anytime you have the nerve to call us earthborn fools. Like, yes, you're taking low blows now, Skexel. Now, Morbius is, product of this earth, so you're going to be the first to give blood. The first to give.
The Skeksis are all different, but the only thing they have in common, according to Morbius, is they are all slow.
Oh man! Unless you've seen them move faster, Commissioner, I haven't seen them move too fast. Let me tell you.
I will say this: their merch is not cheap.
No. But we make plenty of money here, so we can afford to. I mean, look at the damn Pez dispensers are
I was
$1,000.
gonna say $1,000 for the Pez. What the hell?
Oh man! But it is what it is. I'm paying for it, so everybody gets a Pez dispenser. Everybody gets Oh man! Yeah. So you know what? They say they're ready to take over the Bronze Age. So we will see. I mean, uh, let's see, I may be wrong, but I believe their manager, this is his only Bronze Age league. So if he's going to take over the Bronze Age, it's going to have to be with a big LNL push. So,
Well, you know what? Balin is definitely lucky to have them as part of his league. Then, no doubt about that.
yeah, so is Morbius.
Yes.
Oh, man. But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, glad to have the Skeksis here. But um, I'm skimming through this, Commissioner. Obviously, our legendary characters here, Catfish and the gang. Like I said, they have their hands full with Warblaze, and I'm curious as to, like you said, you know, how foolish Warblaze is to think that he can go after the Foxwoman and that faction there, because yeah, they will definitely not just sit back and take it. Let me tell you.
Now, you know what the problem is too is you got to have balls to go after the Fox woman, and Warblaze definitely has balls. But I think the problem is when you go after the Fox woman, you might not come back with the balls. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what? She may be in a giving mood and give them back to you at the end of the year, but you better hope she is, because oh man, kind of hard walking around as a eunuch. It's kind of hard walking around.
Right.
Oh man, but oh man, Commissioner, you know what? This league, I think right when we started or before we started recording, we were talking about what keeps us going, and I think leagues like this keep my IWA interest because of the angles, because of everything that happens behind scenes, because of the managers, like I said. So, you know, I know we just ended 2019. Just want to make sure I get that out there to thank you guys for keeping the creative side of the IWA going. And again, many ways to play the game, many options out there. I don't badmouth any of the options. I actually want to promote some of the other styles that are out there. It's just time hasn't allowed it. This is my favorite way of playing the IWA. Creative angle based play. So I just want to thank the managers out there that keep the creative side of the IWA going, and cheers to another one here in 2020, brother.
Absolutely. And we should also, as you mentioned, that plug the fact that over on the Interfed IWA Interfed page that you run, you get a lot of play your way interviews you've been doing with different managers, and those are all well done and definitely worth a listen. Just to kind of get in the minds of just everybody's different, like you said, different ways to play, the different thoughts behind, how people run angles, or how they play the game.
Yeah, like I said, there is no right way to play this game. So when we do find some like-minded individuals, it is nice to wrap them up in our game and keep it going, brother, because it's what we do. Here we are. It's we started this at like 5 in the morning,
Right.
5 in the morning my time, and but yeah, like I said, we do it for the love of this game, brother.
Absolutely.
For our 15 to 20 listeners.
Absolutely. on a good day.
Oh yeah, brother. Like I said. So any thoughts, any questions, any suggestions, shoot them our way. Love to hear from you. And Commissioner, anything else? Any last words you want to put on this one?
If anybody ever wants to be a guest down here with us, feel free to come on.
Yeah, you know what? Now that we got the legendary Catfish, like I said, maybe we can get him on one of these days and shoot the shits.
Yeah, I mean anybody. I mean, absolutely, Rob, without a doubt, he'd be awesome to have on here. The Siths manager, Jason and Michael, their manager, Tim, all these guys, man. Like to get them out here and shoot the shit with them.
Yeah, sounds like a plan, brother. We got a nice long 2020 coming, so let's make it happen, managers. Get yourselves on here so we can get to know your characters right from the source, brother. But for now, Commissioner, we're going to go ahead and sign this one off. You've been listening to Living Nightmare After Hours with myself, IWA Flip, and Commissioner Brandon Madden. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.